Hello, you listening to us? Come on in. Come on into the seat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto City. Please welcome to the stage your host, CityGirl.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Crypto City. Thank you so much for joining us again. In relevant news, Elon Musk is finally the owner of Twitter. Twitter is no longer a publicly traded company, and Elon has big plans for Twitter. He's actually hoping to emulate WeChat, which is an app that's used in China for communications. Right now, it's pretty much the only program of its kind where a chatting program incorporates crypto payments into it. To paraphrase Elon, he said, if it works right now for them, why not just copy it? So we should be keeping our eyes open for some big developments there in the next coming months. And in additional news that's relevant to that, the Binance CEO says that he wants to help Elon bring Twitter into Web3. He said, we want to make sure that crypto has a seat at the table when it comes to free speech. There are also so much more tactical things that we want to help bring Twitter into Web3. For example, solving immediate problems like charging for memberships, etc., that can be very easily done by globally using cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. Last week in Crypto City, we talked a little bit about blockchain, and this week we're going to talk about the ways that Web3 and crypto are impacting our community. We are all here on our headsets or on our computers, and we are pioneers right now in VR. Although VR has been around for quite some time, it has not been as commonplace as it is now. Even in the last 2 years, since I first got an Oculus and joined AltSpace, the popularity has grown immensely and become so much more far recognized. Many of these programs that you see, such as Twitch and Discord, Decentraland, all of these things used to be programs that only techies used, and now they're very popular. We are all in the metaverse, but as just a small piece of it is AltSpace. AltSpace is not all of the metaverse. There are so many other programs and parts out there, and we are like one little tiny star in this giant galaxy. Cryptocurrency is more widely traded and positioned to be even more widely accepted worldwide very soon. There are countries out there that are adopting cryptocurrency as a formal means of payment. And this is becoming a lot more accepted in NFT games, as well as a lot of apps that are out there that people are using on their smartphones. So keep your eyes open for that as well, because this is growing fast and furious. Web3 is definitely having an impact on the community. So now let's dive into our show. I'd ask you to please offer up a warm welcome to my co-host for tonight's show, PixelAddikt.
Hey, City, how are
Pixel.
ya?
Good.
How's it going?
Thank you for
Hey,
joining
everybody.
us.
Absolutely.
Have a seat. Oh, This is interesting stuff that we're going through with here. I mean, we're talked a little bit about blockchain. Now we're bringing out, Web3 and its impact, because it is having quite the impact on many of our viewers, on many of our community, both in real life and in VR. There's a lot of crossover there.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's lots of jobs, right? Like you talk about the creator economy, right? That's always where AltSpace or different metaverses, or whether it's just 3D, right? Different kind of software. There's a lot of different career paths. There's a lot of different types of jobs that Web3 is creating. And, we're here to kind of expose those and give examples and kind of show, people that, you can kind of always learn and always kind of level up. There's lots of tech, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we have many people that we know personally here that have actually monetized on, whether it is world building or, making kits and MREs. There's a lot of ways that you can make money in here. We're not here to promote, how to get a job in the metaverse. But there are lots of opportunities in here to monetize, but there's also tons of opportunities for you to develop your skills, which is even more important, because there are things that you might do in here that you think, oh, this is so much fun. I love that I'm able to create worlds and stuff. But these are usable skills that, as the world changes and Web3 becomes far more prominent, down the road, some of the jobs that people once had are going to be going away. And these are the type of jobs that are going to be available.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see too, like the kids, the younger generations, right, as they're 20s and kind of, teenagers, they're learning a lot of these digital skills and they're using them, whether it's gaming. So a lot of the kids, everyone likes gamings. And so being able to build those assets and brands out there are always looking for, developers, strong female developers that have, entrepreneurial kind of, tendencies. And now there's all these different kind of lot of different sectors, whether it's kind of medical or gaming or kind of NFTs, and there's lots of different creative solutions that are coming up to Web3. So that's exciting space.
Absolutely. And like I said a few minutes ago, we're in AltSpace, and this to us feels like home. This is where we do all of our events and do. But there's so many other programs out there. For example, Horizons, which is a program that is similar in the fact that you can build in it. So a lot of world builders from here have jumped over and built some worlds in Horizons. I think some of you who are here in our audience may have even done some of that. Show of hearts, how many of you are involved in building worlds? Okay, we have a couple out there. So, have you built them in multiple platforms? Are you building them in VR chat and AltSpace and, maybe some other programs? Okay, I'm getting some nods. Yes. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
So see, this is where, Web3 is not something that is, in a tiny little spot. It is spreading across other apps, across other programs, across other mediums. And so there's definitely opportunity for you to get your feet wet. Now, let's talk about some other types of things that are encompassed in that besides world building. We talked a little bit about building kits and, MREs. What other types of opportunities are there?
Well, and the big one is like obviously the wearables, right? So each individual platform has its own avatar system, has its own kind of wearables and different customizing. But in here in AltSpace, we have to build a customizable MRE that can kind of do our wearables, and Horizons has other types of things like that. But at Connect recently, Meta announced that we're going to allow a different type of studio, right? So you can upload Blender and kind of those assets into Horizons. Up to now, it's building in headset. So, and it had a different look, right? They were criticized a lot for the cartoony kind of look, and I think Microsoft and AltSpace got criticized as well for different things. But you have to understand this is still early. It's still VR, right? They have to. You got to watch poly counts. You got to watch a lot of the weight of a lot of these worlds when it comes to the programming and interactivity. Whether it's scripting, and so different metaverses have different scripting languages and different kind of UIs and ways to build on it, and everybody's building different experiences. Right? Like, so,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all
Many
custom.
of us in here, we know Ryuzaki has made, as you were talking
Yeah.
about wearables, he started out in here making the clothes like this that I'm wearing here. He has now moved over into trying to do some stuff with VR chat. So there's definitely, the skills you learn in one place, although the platforms might be a little different, you can transfer some of the skills and learn a new program, at least have the same understanding as to how it works.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, we're still early. So the early days of the internet used to build websites for all the different browsers. And well, now in VR, you're building these assets and the interoperability, you can't bring a lot of these, things that we buy in here, these assets, bring them over to Horizon Worlds and vice versa. But as the Web3 kind of opens up and some of these metaverse platforms kind of hopefully, make it a little bit more developer friendly, the ecosystem, get more creators involved, and hopefully we'll be able to see ways you can sell across multiple platforms. And then that'll be, that'll help people make some more money and make a living kind of doing this, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, tonight we have a special guest on with us. We're going to introduce her in a moment, but the way that all of the stuff that we're talking about in this show that we're doing impacts the audience, impacts our community is very important to us. We're here to try and teach you guys a little bit about, the basics so that you have a better understanding. But there are some of you out there who are actually, being a little bit immersed already. And we decided it would be a good idea to bring one of those people on. And I'd like you to all give us a warm welcome and for MetaDie. MetaDie, please come on and join us. Welcome.
Hey, everyone.
Hey. On stage.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. One thing I need to start out with this. So your official name is MetaDie in Web3. That is your official name that's on here. Now, when I first saw that, I kind of looked at and thought, Meta Day in Web3, meaning like a play on words of a better day. So tell us about your name. Where did it come from, and how is it relevant to you?
She froze. Couldn't hear you. You froze.
Well, she was asking about your name, kind of how you came up with your username.
Oh, okay, sure. So, Meta Day is actually Meta Day in Web 3.0. A lot of people call me Meta Die, but it's actually Day. So, Meta, the word Meta definitely does not have to do with Meta, Facebook, but there's another another description for Meta. It means more than. The word day is actually part of my birth name. So it is sort of like a play on words. Like instead of a better day, it's a meta day in 3.0. And to me, meta is like an extension of, like, everybody that's in real life know me as a cousin, a sister, a best friend. But to be the name that I use, the meta day in Web 3.0, means that there's an extension of me, and this is me in Web 3.0.
I love that. That's great. Okay.
That's amazing.
So it was actually a very creative and thoughtful choice.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So how did you actually get involved with all of this, and about how long have you been in VR and doing, things with Web3 and, the metaverse?
Okay. So I learned I've been in Web3, in the metaverse, in AltSpace since April for 2D, and I got my Oculus in May. Once I got in this space, I was just heavily immersed into it. However, I've been involved with blockchain since 2017, And what made me involved in that, I heard about a young lady that has, oh, I'm sliding. I met a young lady that has she developed her business based on blockchain. She has a company called Gooder Co. And what she does is she used the blockchain technology to get food that companies no longer are not using, but the food, like if it's excess of food, instead of that food going to waste, she used the technology to pick up the food or have a delivery service that she created, pick up the food, and that food is then donated to organizations that can use it instead of the food going to get waste. So when I first heard about blockchain, it was, I heard about the boring side of blockchain, but because the way she's using blockchain and the technology that's within blockchain, that made me get a little more interested in it. And it made me realize that, blockchain is not a boring thing. A lot of people are using blockchain to save lives. A lot of people are using blockchains to enhance lives. And that's what I liked about blockchain. So ever since I got involved with it, I started looking up different ways that other people are using blockchain. So yeah, that's my story.
Very interesting. And it's always good to see the charitable side of something as well. I mean, there's plenty of self reasons to do it. It's great when you see somebody giving back.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree.
So, Pixel, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Meta's Instagram feed is full of tidbits of, whether it's Web3, crypto, all types of stuff that totally ties in with what we do here. And I found it very interesting. I've been following her for quite a while. And, I see that she actually takes the time to go in and she'll find a story that's newsworthy and read through it and then actually make posts. She doesn't just repost it. She actually writes up a little something to go with it to explain how she took it, whether it was, her interpretation of it or how it impacted her. It's really kind of thoughtful, and there's a lot to be taken from it. You can learn some stuff, but also, it's interesting to see how when one person hears about some news, how it affects them personally.
Yeah, I totally agree because like everybody hear about NFTs, but some people people wonder like, what is it about? How is it used? And like everybody heard about the Bored Ape, so to me, an NFT, even though I'm still learning, I am no way an expert. I am learning just like everyone else. So to me, an NFT is something or item that you can collect. I look at it as like a baseball card or a ticket to a movie that premiered, and you hold on to it, and then years later it may be worth something. It could be something that you can trade. It could be something that can pay off in years to come. So the items and things that I share on my page is like, I want to make it make NFT interesting. I'll showcase the companies that are using NFTs. So at times I showcase L'Oreal. I think I showcase or share information about Sephora. I'm sorry, Gucci. And I think I shared one NFT that a football player is creating. So I think that if you share interesting stories about NFTs, it will allow somebody else, look at the story and say, let me see what else I can do with NFT. Can I create an NFT? Do I have something that can be turned into an NFT? So that's why I share those stories. I share like the fun side of NFT.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making it kind of relatable to everyone, so that when we read those stories, it's like, hey, I could be like that. I could actually kind of dig into, what platform are they using? NFT are they using, right? Whether it's on Ethereum, yes, Polygon, or then you can kind of look into, how do I mint, right? How do I do this? How do I create an NFT like that? And as well as we do, as you're reading all this information, you'll go down these rabbit holes and create your own artwork and then mint your. Right. So it's awesome that there's lots of info out there and you're sharing it with the community.
Yes, I agree. Because I know, I see, is that Michelle? Yeah, I see Michelle in the audience, so who's to say that she's a singer. For those who don't know, she's a great singer. She may write something, even if she writes a song lyric, even if she writes a song for herself, she can possibly turn that into an NFT. So that gives her the creative right of what she creates, and she can give, like, say if she has I'm going to put this in fruition, Michelle. Say she has a concert, first concert ever. Maybe it's the first concert by somebody in AltSpace. She can give her ticket as, or create a ticket as an NFT. So when those who follow behind her, they'll say, well, I'm here because of the first concert that Michelle has, and then those who attend her concert, when it goes on the auction block in Sotheby's, they be like, well, we have Michelle's first concert in AltSpace. Who wants to pay $20 million for it? So that's my idea how, the NFTs work, or idea that someone can use an NFT.
Yeah, the thing with the music NFTs is, there's lots of information and there's lots of platforms there. So the main thing is to do your research, like we've always kind of said, and make sure, right, that you're comfortable with the technology. Comfortable, whether it's something like OpenSea, where it's nice and easy, you can upload and you can share that. And there are other like music NFT platforms. Maybe that'll do royalty splits, or, they'll track it. And you want to make sure that everything's nice, that you understand as the artist. You understand what you're doing, how many you're putting out. Are you doing an auction, or are you going to do like a rare? So it matters, right? And plan all that out, strategize with somebody kind of, like me, or somebody that's a developer, so that understands, make sure all the tech is handled in the back end, so that on the front end, the artist can relax and they can do their promotion instead of worrying about minting process and how to do it, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. Because you can mint these NFTs, you can mint them either on OpenSea, or you can mint them on your own website. Take control of the branding, right? Like you send everybody to your website to get all that traffic. But there's a lot of different ways, but exciting, the music stuff for sure, because there's a lot of artists out there that want to take control and own part of their future.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Just so the audience knows, we are going to be doing quite a few episodes on NFTs. It's a big topic and there's a lot to cover, but it's an exciting one and it's going to be fun. And we're going to be getting into that in the next few weeks. And there's going to be a lot to cover there. And we are definitely going to have those episodes are going to be enjoyable. They're going to be fun. We're going to be looking at all different types of NFTs, different platforms that they're on, different utility within them. So we're touching on it right now a little bit with what you're talking about, but there's more exciting things to come with that for sure.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Stuff.
So let's talk about, you're doing some things here in VR, besides just jumping around and, enjoying, visiting worlds and everything. You've taken on the role as a brand ambassador for somebody here in AltSpace who is doing charity work, D-Nice.
Yes.
In addition to that, you're wearing these wearable clothes that we talked about before. So these clothes are being made by Ryuzaki, who makes clothes. They're being made for D-Nice for his charitable line. They did a collaboration there. So these clothes are being sold here in the metaverse. And you are wearing them around to present them, and actually the one I'm wearing right now is also that clothing line. So there's a give back portion of that. So that shows how stuff that's happening here is actually having an impact in the community in real life, because you're giving money to charity in the real world, benefiting from it here in VR as well. In addition to that, though, you've also started playing around a little bit with building stuff in Horizon. Is that true?
No, actually, what I do in Horizon, I was just doing some content creation. And one of the so one of the articles that I shared was about the Chesterville neighborhood over in Horizon. Yes. And the Chesterville neighborhood was created by Frito-Lay, so Cheetos, So I decided to go over there and do some, instead of talking about the article, go visit the world, see it for myself, take some content. And for some reason, two people thought I was a YouTuber. So, I said, well, maybe that's a sign. In regard to building, I will leave that to the professionals. So shout out to all my world builders out there. Y'all have my total respect. And if you are thinking about world building, I think you should do it. Mainly because the way that Web3 is going. What I normally do, and I have stressed and I have shared it, like we come on here, we party, we have a good time, we go to different events. I challenge anybody out there to come on here if you have some downtime and go to a world or go to an event that you never would have gone to before. You never know who you might meet. I mean, there is a company, I'm not going to say the name, but they were featured on the Meta Connect, and they have a strong, heavy presence in AltSpace. I can guarantee you they have about 10, 11 offices. So if you are a world builder or a world creator or creator, I challenge you, go into some of them rooms and introduce yourself. You never know what that opportunity will take you. You never know. You never know. So that's my story when I went over the horizon. So I was just doing some content about an article that I found and about a world that was created over there. And I decided to go over there and check it out for myself. And it's a pretty decent world.
And then that kind of lends itself also to opportunities as well, because opportunities, yes, if you're a builder, you're doing stuff, of course, there's opportunities in here, but there's other types of opportunities. I mean, look at what we're doing right now, hosting a show, hosting events, different things that we're doing. Your niche might not be on the tech side. Your niche might be on the marketing side. That's great. There's plenty of worlds in here that need marketing. There's plenty of brands out there that need marketing people here in the metaverse. So, your skill set might vary from the person sitting next to you. That's a good thing, because we need all of those skills in here to make this thrive and grow. So, don't feel that you have to be a tech guru in order to succeed in here. That's not the case.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I've shared this with so many people. This space right here, if you ever wanted to become whatever it is you wanted to become in real life and somebody told you couldn't, this is the space to do it in, especially because it's so new and it's so growing. What AltSpace is right now may not be AltSpace in 3 years. And then when those who are coming in, they have no idea about this space, nowhere to go, and they don't know where to go. I am hoping that by that time they get in here, that all of you all be like, hey, I can do this, or hey, I know somebody that I can connect you to that can do that. Like, even just shameless plug for D Nice. I had no idea that being part of the D Nice brand ambassadors would allow me to be creative and allow me to bring out the creativity that's in me and allow me and challenge me to learn different things. So if, let's say, a company come in and say, hey, I don't know how to plan a party, or hey, I don't know how to look at a particular world for an event, I can, along with Three the Hard Way, we can say, hey, look at us. Let's take you on a world hopping tour. What about this world? What about that world? And if they say, well, I'm looking for a host, we're having this big charity event. Because I know Sherwin, I can say, hey, let me introduce you to Sherwin, or Sherwin and his team, or Fuchsia, So I'm very proud at the way that this space is going. And like I said, I challenge everybody out there to world hop into a world or go to an event that you've never been to before. Introduce yourself to people, because you never know who's behind this Oculus. You never know. So, and like I said, this space right here is total tech disruption. I am a tech disruptor, a fangirl, and I love it, and I love the way it's going. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, that's beautiful. No, it is. Yeah, and all the different shows, talking about the podcast, like this is essentially the next version of these podcasts, right? Like, yes. You can have a podcast on Zoom, you can have it on the web, on Spotify, but this is the next generation of that, where it's immersed and see all
Right.
our friends, and we have the community in, and can be interactive. And when, like you said, if it's not tech, it's something else, right? Something that
Right.
you're passionate about, and bring it
Right.
up and meet other developers, meet a creator,
Mhm.
and meet some marketing people that understand, understand how to do this mixed reality and like stuff that Stover's doing, and
Right.
as far as promotion, as far as taking our avatars and merging them with our real identities to promote, that should be the key. That's everybody in AltSpace should, really promote themselves as what they're doing and sell their services,
Yes.
and that's exciting.
Because
No,
that
and
Stover
you made a
said
good
something.
point.
I'm sorry. Mhm.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, because Stover said something when he was on the Tonight Show, and he said we are all a brand. We are all a brand. No, whether you want to accept it or not, y'all, we are all a brand here. We are pioneers. We are early adopters. And it was something else he said. What I took from it was like he said, what I took from what he said that night was there were going to be people that's coming. And with the articles that I'm watching and I'm seeing and the companies that's coming in here, they're coming in here. They're going to come in strong. But the thing about it is when they come in here, they're not going to know how to do nothing. They're not going to know how to do certain things that we do. I'm going to put it that way, And it would be great that if you were to, let's just say a well-known company comes in, they say, oh, wait a minute, I don't know how to do this. We want to come into AltSpace. We want to set up shop here and we want to do this, that, and that. Who we going to turn to? Let's just say that you don't went to or visit a world that one of those employees are in. They say, hey, I know D Nice, or hey, I know Terry the tire guy. I connected with him. He hopped into a world. He know this and that and the other. Let's set up a meeting with him. This space will set y'all up for life. This set y'all up for life in a good way. So like I said, I'll challenge everybody. Be tech disruptors. Be a fangirl, fanboy, fan person of tech disruption. Because I definitely am. Okay,
Look, and another point to yours is a lot of these ideas, people have ideas, right? In AltSpace. Like, why don't we do this? Like, that's where your value can come from, right? If you can't develop and you can't use all these tools, just come and, talk, right? And meet some people and kind of have some ideas, and maybe it'll spark some creativity in somebody and be like, you want to, there's a lot of collabs that go on, right? Like everybody merges together, and all these AltSpace they're amazing, right? Meeting new people and working on projects that are close to your heart, whether.
Yes, because you don't want to do something that's not fun. If it's not fun, then it's work. It's work. So don't say, "Oh, I want to be a developer." This is a great place to be a blockchain developer, but if you're not willing to take up the time to study and research it and put in the time to become a great developer, it's not going to be fun. So.
And then the thing is too, you just said do something that's close to your heart that makes it better. I mean, for an example, I brought in my nonprofit into here because it made me want to work harder to develop it. Be Nice did the same thing. There are people in here who have brought in their real life stuff to VR and developed that because they already have a passion for it. So in doing that, sometimes there's two parts to it. You're bringing in something that you're sharing with other people, but you're also learning more because as I brought it in, I needed to find out what I wanted to do for the world. I worked with Stovert. Stovert makes great worlds, but the ideas kept coming, like, what if we do this? What if we do that? It's challenging you to be more creative without even realizing it, because I think I'm just building a world for something I love, but we're collaborating on greater ideas for it, and then you turn around and you do an event. And when you do an event, you need all the different cast of characters. You need the hosts. You need the people to attend. You need all those things. And, I made a post on my Instagram, probably about a year ago. And I said, don't feel bad if you're not a world builder. Because if the world builders didn't have visitors, it'd be no one to build the worlds for. So if you just like coming in here and jumping around and enjoying, you're still learning some stuff and you don't even realize you're learning things. People who've never used an Oculus before, who jump in here and bounce around world to world, the first week that you use the Oculus, or that you go online and you're using, even AltSpace in 2D, that first week you learn so much. You don't even realize it. It's just happening every time. Like, oh, I have to do this to make this happen. I can teleport. I can fly. The things that you can do. But then once you realize you can do it, you're like, oh, I'm here. I can see this and I can do that. And every single day you get excited about it. You want to do more. And that's why some people go off in the direction of world building, because they're like, I love this. I can do this. I can do better. And they want to do more. You get people who come in here and they see an MRE that allows you to put clothes on, or an MRE that allows you to have a little pet on your shoulder, or whatever it is. They like, I love this, but I can do more. And why can't we do this? And it challenges people's minds and it gets them to grow more. All of that, which seems like it's just fun, ends up becoming skill sets that you can use down the road. Those skills are eventually going to be the commonplace skills that people need to have to get through the day, as more and more companies are doing meetings in in the metaverse, whether it's in Horizon Worlds, AltSpace, or wherever. There are more and more meetings happening within the corporate industries. So if they're having meetings in here, you can't just put a headset on and stand here in front of the room. You need to know how to move around when you have to put on a presentation, to learn all these skills. So everything you're doing in here day to day is teaching you. And it's helping Web3 and just all of this technology grow within the community in VR and in real life.
I totally agree. Like, there was a few events that I've been to, and I remember one event that I think was me, L Boogie, and Fuchsia went to, and we could tell that they were doing an event, but they needed some assistance. Because the web projector wasn't working correctly. They wanted people to speak, but they muted us all. So they didn't know. So you could tell that they need assistance, and I think that by coming here and for certain events, it allows me, or gave me, the skill set that could help those that's new into this space, that can, so their events can run smoothly.
Absolutely.
So I totally agree.
No, and that's great. And that's you learning and then sharing. That's great.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, we just assume that these productions in VR just go on without a glitch.
Not true.
They do not.
Anyone who has thrown an event in AltSpace knows that it is glitchy, and that there are things that happen, and that we scramble to try and cover things up as it's happening, and just the show must go on. That's what happens. And you learn to roll with it and just make it happen however it has to play out.
But I think the sharing, right? You were talking about the sharing between, in AltSpace and a lot of developers.
Yes.
So the production teams, right? Like Sherwin's production team, and then there are other events. Oh, you guys are all together. You all work together to kind of bring these great events. Well, you're sharing the knowledge. I know you're not keeping all that knowledge. I see Sherwin posting about, this is how we do this in the back end, and this is how we help. And a lot of that's really helpful to a lot of other event producers, and definitely kind of works that way. So
absolutely. Sherwin is a huge, a community leader here. He does a lot of events here. He has helped a lot of people. He actually was just honored this past week with a star on the Rockadala Walk of Fame. So, I mean, Sherwin is definitely somebody who projects all of his, all of his skills out there to help everybody. And there are other people who do that too. There are world builders who take people in as interns and help them grow. But the one thing is that I haven't met a single person in here yet, and they may exist, but in general, there is nobody who doesn't allow you to at least ask them a question. They might not be able to give you the answer. They'll point you in the direction you need to go. But if you are out here and you want to learn more, there are resources for you in here. And you can ask people, they can point you into the right direction. They can connect you with the correct liaison that you need to get the info that you want. And you can always come and ask us. If after a show you say, hey, listening to what you're saying. I want to know more. Who can I talk to? We can
Right.
point you towards some people who could potentially help you with what you want to do.
Yeah, and one of those foundational kind of strong kind of women in the metaverse was Artsy for me. So
Absolutely.
meeting her and having her work with Naughty by Nature and all these other kind of brands, I just wanted to be a student. I wanted to learn. So she created a Facebook group. That's the World Builders Collective. If anybody's interested, go on Facebook. You can search. It's an open group, and that's all we do is we talk about world building, and we have. She'll have an open Saturday. Well, she'll literally go on Blender and show everybody kind of how to build things and take questions, and it's amazing. It's sharing knowledge and learning how to build these digital skills can can change lives, right? There's a lot of part-timers, right, that have full-time jobs, want to do this at night and learn how to build, and pretty soon they're building worlds for people and getting paid, and they're going out on the town and having it fun, and then they're like, yeah, let's give it up for the metaverse.
Sure. So, Meta, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is your future goal personally? What do you plan to do personally in the future?
Well, I thought about that, and I don't want to put a comma on what I want to do because I want to do so much stuff, so many things, especially in this space. The reason why, just a short story, I don't want to put a comma on it. I don't know if anybody watched the movie Soul, and with that movie, the main character, he always wanted to be this one thing. So when he got to that pivotal moment, he's like, okay, what's next? And the lady that was in the group with him said, we do it again tomorrow and we do it again the next day. So he thought that from when he got to that particular point, he reached his goal that it would transcend into something else, or they would do something different. So I don't want to put a comma on what I want to do. I know there are several things that I want to do in this space. I don't believe I'm going anywhere anytime soon. World building is not one of them. Like I said again, shout out to all you world builders and MRE makers. But I can say that I would like to do, there are several things that I would like to do on the back end of this space. Also, if I can also include content creation into that would be great as well. So, yeah, that's going to be my journey for the future. I'm just going to say next. I'm not going to say next because that puts a timeline on it. For the future, yes, I will be doing several things in this space.
We'll be watching. We'll be
Absolutely.
watching.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's open up the floor and ask the audience if they have any questions for Meta. If you have a question, you can use the raise hand feature, which is down on your right-hand side. Just click on that raise hand button, and you can ask Meta a question, or if you want to ask Pixel a question.
Jerry.
Of course.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, how's it going? All right, great discussion as always. So it was a great point that was made last week. How this industry is going to open up, not just for people to make money, but for people to actually, they come in here, they make money or whatever, but it's going to create a lot of jobs. You have to look at it this way. I work. People know me. I work too as well, and I work with a lot of crypto companies and NFT companies, and also a publicly traded company that actually sponsored me. We were just talking about how can say that publicly traded company just talking to me today about how can we space and have a presence. You know what I mean, because they do a lot of advertising, marketing for a lot of companies, businesses, and politics, politicians, and also listen. We have a company, and I can't say exactly who. Okay, so we have a company right now that they got everything they need for Web3, working on Web4. Okay, so this is the future. This is like the now, and you guys are in the right place. I see a lot of people in here building, like, a builder. I have an imagination of what I want, I don't have the patience to come in and actually build and do what other people do. I could definitely point you to the right people know how to do that. There's going to be a lot of companies, and they're going to need all of you who are web builders who have something to offer. Because at the end of the day, man, they don't know how to do it. All they got is the checkbook. Don't undercut yourself. If you're dealing with a company, which is an individual, it be completely different than what you try. You have to do your research on what it might be. Okay, so work with these people. People telling you they got their checkbook, and they just want someone that really know how to do a great quality job. So, but yeah, shout out to the world builders and.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question or comment from D Nice. D.
Okay, so when I originally started my collection, I had two things in mind. One thing was to help the kids in my community. The second thing was to build a team that could also help brand, and we could also help each other and help each other excel and grow. When I met you, Meta, I saw something in you, and I knew you were great. I mean, from the marketing to the planning to decorating to even content creating with planning. So all this, everything I do is for a purpose. This is chess, not checkers with me. And I want to see you succeed. And I want you to use the D Nice brand and all these parties and marketing to actually promote and build your brand as well. I'm gonna continue. Everybody on my team, I see something in all of them, and my goal is brand all of them. So when the metaverse actually, there's millions of people in here, and they have a name. They helped the charity, they built their community, and now they have a skill that they can actually promote. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all my team members, and I'm looking so forward to see what the metaverse hold for you. And I'm just
Thank you,
blessed to
D.
be on the team with you.
Thanks, D. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Dee. Do we have any other questions, comments?
Fuchsia.
Oh, Fuchsia.
Go ahead, Fuchsia.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I just have a comment. First of all, I want to just say, Meta, I am very proud of you.
Appreciate
But
that,
you had
Fuchsia.
me fooled because you was acting like you were shy, and girl, you ain't shy. So we're gonna be dealing with you a little bit differently in the future. I just want to say all that. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Fuchsia. We'll talk later.
Sounds like she'll have a project for you.
Mm-hmm.
Question or comment from Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Michelle,
First thing, I'm proud of
songbird.
Meta too. She's always been so supportive of me. She one of the first people I met when I got on AltSpace. And when I didn't know where to go and what to do, her and Fuchsia. Ever since she found out I can sing, she's just been on me. And I appreciate that love. You know what I'm saying? She don't have to, everybody on here for their own reasons. They take their own time out to do what they want to do when they on here. Or anytime share it with somebody else for what they're doing and pushing them. I feel like it's extra and not mandatory. So it's very appreciative when it does happen. And keep pushing. I'm with you. I'm behind you 1,000. So whatever you're doing, I'm doing it. If it's in my power, you got my support full on.
Appreciate that, Michelle.
Make it happen. Yes, ma'am.
You already know. You already know. I'm be watching you like they're watching me. I'm watching you.
Right. Right.
You know.
And I won't forget.
Okay.
And this is a beautiful piece of the community as well, because as you're learning things and you're in getting engrossed in it and loving what you're doing, projecting that positive energy onto the other people around you. They want to get involved as well.
Yes, that's why I love this space so much.
Beautiful.
Do we have any more questions? So next week, we are going to start our journey down the NFT road.
Wait a minute.
Who?
Sorry?
It's okay. Cyber Shay wanted to say something, but put her hand back down. Cyber, did you still want to talk?
Cyber Shay.
Okay, go ahead.
She'll mute herself.
She has the microphone. Okay, maybe not.
Might be having a little technical difficulty there.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
It does. So as I was saying, next week we're going to start our journey down the NFT road. We're going to start out with the basics of the different types of NFTs. And, we'll be giving you some examples. So this will be it'll be an exciting class. It'll be an exciting show. It will be a lot of examples that we can show, explain how they work, talk about the different the foundation of the building blocks for NFTs so that we can continue on with that journey for a few weeks.
Sure. We're going to find a lot of the big projects, right? Like we'll go through some of the big boys, the top 10, and explain kind of why they're so valuable, why there's billions and billions of dollars invested in these NFTs. Because a lot of it's not just the art, stuff happening behind the scenes that we want to kind of disclose. And it's kind of techie stuff, but it gives you an idea of the roadmap, right? It gives you an idea of why they're doing, why it's valuable, why people are buying digital real estate or buying certain NFTs to kind of do things with later. So yeah, it'd be real exciting.
Utility is key.
Sure, absolutely.
Great.
Well, Meta, we want to thank you very much for coming on and talking with us today. It was great hearing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
We definitely will be watching you going forward. We definitely want to see where you're going, and keep up with your Instagram posts are definitely beneficial. If any of you are not following her right now, you want to talk to her after the show and get her Instagram handle so you can follow her feed. There's a lot of helpful information on there. There's also just a lot of interesting stuff. So definitely want to follow her. I'll thank all of you for coming out tonight. We hope that you will join us again next week, and we will see you on Monday night at 9 p.m. as we talk about the types of NFTs. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to my host,
thank you, everyone.
Here, PixelAddikt. Thank you for all of your comments and
stuff. Edda?
Yes.
Have you heard of Make or Die? You know what that is? DAI?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, is that the blockchain coin? Is it a coin? Because I know it's a coin that's out. Yes.
It's a little bit more than a coin, right? It's more of a stable coin, but it's based on like gold and silver and like stuff that they bought. Okay. So it's been the longest running.
Hey, Keisha. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thank you. I had to get off the mute.
Thank you for coming.
Taking some sneak photos.
Yes, I was doing some